if you are looking for a trade setup with high probability, watch this Forex weekly analysis. So we're starting our analysis with the DSY on the daily chart. So DSY on the daily chart break out of our major trend line, which is this trend line. Then you can also see that price has also closed above a lower high level of an inner structure on the DSY on the daily chart. So let's look at the major structure of the DSY on daily chart. So on the daily chart, the major structure of the DSY still remain on a range, but price has closed above our inner structure lower high, which is this level, which indicates what we are expecting this week. We have a resistance at this area, so we expect price to do a retest back to this level, then before start looking for our possible buying opportunity for the DSY to this next daily and a weekly resistance level. A break of this resistance level might trigger more fresh buy for the DSY to the top. So let's confirm this move from the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, you can see that price has clearly converted this resistance level. We have a resistance level at this area on the weekly chart. Here was the previous resistance level. You can see clearly that price has converted this resistance into a support level. Then price closed on this resistance level, which shows that we are expecting the DSY to do a retest of this zone, which is this particular previous resistance zone, previous resistance that turned to support. Price will retest this level before we see further buy for the DSY to this next resistance level. So let's look at the structure of the DSY on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, the structure of the DSY, you can see price see creating an inner structure move, which is lower low and a series of higher low, which indicates bullish trend, but it's an inner structure move for the DSY also on the weekly chart. So we expect price to move to this next resistance level this coming week. So let's go back to our daily chart. So on the daily chart now, this we now confirm that price on the daily chart and also on the weekly, they are all in line in the same direction. So we wait for price to retest this particular support level, then we start looking for our possible buying opportunity to the top for DSY. So let's look at our next pair, which is the EURUSD. EURUSD on the daily chart also break out of our trend line. You can clearly see that price break out of this particular trend line. Then all we need to wait on EURUSD now, we need price to retest back to this our resistance level or this particular resistance level. So we expect EURUSD to do a retest of these levels, then before start looking for our selling opportunity to the downside. So what is this trend? What's this the structure? What's the trend of the EURUSD on the daily chart? So our trend on the EURUSD or the daily chart still remain on a sideways trend. You can see we still have a sideways trend on the EURUSD on the daily chart. Then price now is we have an inner structure for series of higher low, which price has closed below one of the level now, but we need price to close below this major level before we can see we expect a strong bearish movement for the euro to this major structure level. Once we see price close below this level, this is a major structure, inner structure level. Once price close below it, we expect a strong bearish move for EURUSD to this next support level. So we wait for price to close below it and give us a setup for the strong bearish move to this level. But this level, this current move, we expect price to retest this level, then price will drop to this particular level. So let's look at the weekly chart to confirm the EURUSD move. So on the weekly chart, you can also see that price has converted this particular support level into a resistance level. Then price also close on this resistance level also. You can also see that price is clearly on resistance level. Then we also have a support at this area where price tested, which shows that EURUSD, we need to take a supply from this region, which is price need to take a supply from this region. So price might take supply from this region to drop. to this next support level. Then price might also take a supply from this region to drop to this level. So we mark this level and wait for price reaction on all this level from our daily time frame. So once we see a reaction of price from all this weekly level, we start looking for our selling opportunity for the Euro USD, because we expect more of sell on the Euro USD. You can see clearly that the weekly chart is still pointing more of a sell on the Euro USD. So let's look at the structure of the weekly chart on Euro USD. So our structure on Euro USD still remain on a sideways trend. We don't have a clear direction for trend yet, but our scenario for this week still remain on sell, which is we expect more of a bearish trend for the Euro USD on the weekly chart. So let's go back to our daily chart. So on the daily chart, you can see that the daily chart and the weekly chart are in line. So we expect more of selling opportunity this week for the Euro USD. So we expect our price reversal back to any of this zone before we start looking for our possible selling opportunity for the Euro USD. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Great British Pounds USD. But before we look at the Great British Pounds USD, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more trading tips and forex analysis. So on my daily chart, we have our trend line also drawn on the daily chart. You can clearly see that price has closed below our trend line. The long price closed below this trend line. This indicates a bearish trend for the pounds USD to the downside. So let's look at the major structure of the trend on the pounds USD on the daily chart. So our trend on the daily chart for the pounds USD still remain on a bearish trend. So long we have this bearish trend on the pounds USD, and we have this inner structure move, which is we have a lower low and a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This series of higher low indicates an inner structure bullish trend for the pounds, but price has closed below this higher low. So long price closed below this higher low, this indicates possible reversal of price to the downside also for the pounds USD. And also if you check it, we also have a double top here, which also indicates, which is this double top. This indicates this double top. This indicates possible reversal also for the pounds USD to the downside. So once you see price creating a double top, it indicates a reversal for the pounds USD. So price also closed below this our trend line, which also indicates a reversal. So we need a break of a major structure for the pounds USD for us to start looking for our selling opportunity for daily chart. So we expect price to do a retest back to these zones, then we start looking for selling opportunity for pounds to this next support level for the daily chart. Because we have a strong resistance at this level, so we expect price to do a retest and give us a signal to sell the pounds USD to the downs to this next daily support level. So let's confirm this trend from the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, you can clearly see that the pounds also closed on a resistance level. We have this resistance level, this area, which shows that pounds also closed on a resistance and also on a support level. So we also have this resistance also on the daily chart that pounds also close on. So what we expect now, we need price to collect supply before we start looking for the selling opportunity for the pounds. We need price to collect supply from this particular region, which is this resistance levels. Then before we start looking for selling opportunity to this next support level. Price might also go to this high, might also see price doing a test to back to this high before we start looking for selling opportunity for the pounds USD. So our scenario for pounds USD this week still remain on a downtrend for this coming week. So let's look at the major structure of pounds USD. On the weekly chart, we have a downtrend structure on the pounds USD. So we expect more of a bearish trend for the pounds USD this coming week. So from the weekly, now the structure is telling us that price need to drop below this level. Here will be our first target for the weekly. Then a break of this level, we expect a retest. Then we'll see further sell for pounds USD to the downside. So we expect more of bearish trend on the pounds USD this coming week. So let's go back to our daily chart. So we wait for price to do a retest of this our supply levels which is this supply levels. We have these supply levels and these supply levels. So wait for price to do a retest of them on the daily chart and give us a price action setup. Then we can start looking for our selling opportunity for the pound USD to the downside. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Australia USD. Australia USD on our daily chart also break out of my trend line. Let me draw this trend line. Price also break out of my trend line on Australia USD. This is my 3-touch trend line. The long price break out of this trend line on Australia USD, this indicates possible reversal. Then we also have this double top. We have this high. We have this high. Then we also have this high also. This high. So these levels are all indication of reversal. This double top are all indication of a reversal for the Australia USD to the downside. So long price gives us an indication of reversal for the Australia USD. We expect price to break out of this neck to confirm the direction. We expect price to break out of this neck. Then we'll start looking for possible selling opportunity from this level to the downside for the Australia USD. So we have our daily chart telling us that price is setting up for a reversal for the Australia USD. So let's confirm this move from the weekly chart. Let's go to our weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, you can also see that price also rejected from this weekly resistance level. So price rejected from this weekly resistance level. We have price rejected from this weekly resistance level, which also indicates bearish trend for the Australia USD. So we expect more of a bearish trend this coming week on Australia USD. So long price reject from this resistance level. This indicates more of a sell opportunity for the Australia USD. So we'll be looking for, let me draw the zone first. So we see how these levels are all resistance level. So we're looking for selling opportunity from this zone on the daily chart. Let's go back to our daily chart. So we look for our selling opportunity from this zone. So we expect price to break, retest. Then we'll start looking for selling opportunity for the Australia to the downside. So we expect more of a bearish trend this coming week for the Australia USD. So let's look at our next pair, which is the USDJPY. USDJPY on the daily chart break above our swing level, which is this high. So price break above this high. So we expect more of a trend, bullish trend for the USDJPY. So you can see that we still have a uptrend structure. We still have a series of higher low for the USDJPY. So we expect price to continue to push higher for the USDJPY. So we have price break out of this resistance. Then price also break out of this resistance level. So what we expect on the USDJPY now, we need price to do a retest of these levels, which is we expect price to do a retest of any of this level before start looking for our buying opportunity for the USDJPY. So let's confirm the trend of this USDJPY from the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, you can also see clearly that the weekly chart is also indicating more bullish trend this week, because price has converted this particular resistance into a support level, which shows that price will retest that level and receive further buy. So which shows that price will retest, then we'll see more buying opportunity for the USDJPY. So we'll look out for more of a buy on the USDJPY this coming week. So let's look at the structure of the USDJPY on the weekly chart. You can see we have a series of higher lows. So we expect more of a bullish trend for the USDJPY. So we'll be looking for more of our buying opportunity on the USDJPY. So let's go back to our daily chart. So on the daily chart, we will look for price to retest any of these our zones. We'll start looking for possible buying opportunity up. So any of these zones, we wait for price to give us a setup from all these levels, which is all these weekly levels we just draw. We'll start looking for our possible buying opportunity. So price might buy from this level, price might buy from this level. So we'll look out for any of them before we start looking for our buying opportunity for the USDJPY. So let's look at our next pair. But before we look at our next pair, we created a price action trading course. This course is for beginner trader and also advanced trader. If you find it difficult to make profit in this market, this price action trading course is for you. Click the link in description to book for your price action trading course. So let's continue to analysis. Let's look at our next pair, which is the gold USD. Gold USD on the daily chart shows more buying opportunity. We expect price to continue to push higher for the gold USD. This week, price tested this our resistance level. This is a previous resistance level that turned to support, which indicates price reversal for us to start looking for buying opportunity for the gold USD. And you can see that price really tested this level. So we expect buy to continue on the gold USD. So let's look at the structure of the gold USD. So the structure of the gold USD remain on a bullish. So we expect more of a buy on gold USD this coming week. So let's look at our weekly chart to confirm this particular trend for the gold USD. So on the weekly chart, you can clearly see that we have a pricing setup already on gold USD. See indicate more bullish trend for price to continue to push higher for the gold USD. So on the weekly, we expect price to break out of this level. A break of price above this level, this might trigger more bullish trend for gold. So we expect more of buying opportunity for gold this coming week. And if you see that, let's look at the structure of the gold on the daily chart, on the weekly chart. The structure of the gold on the weekly CMA on a bullish trend. So look out for more of your buying, more of buy on the gold USD this coming week. So let's look at the daily. Let's go back to our daily chart back. So on the daily chart, we have to wait for retest of this particular resistance, previous resistance level, which is a support level now, for us to look out for our buying opportunity. We wait for price to retest, then we'll look for more buy for the gold to the top. Or we can also withdraw this support level. We have a support level here also. So price might retest this support level before we start looking for possible buying opportunity for the gold to the top. If you find this analysis helpful, like this video and subscribe for more trading tips and forex analysis. You can watch my previous video on the dollar index, where I break down the current move on the dollar index with the structures at the top. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching.